3, win!
The alley-oop!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. Martin's University Market Pavilion inside the Queen's Star Court for tonight's non-league game featuring out of Vancouver, BC, the Langara College Falcons coming at 5-7 versus your 9-1 hometown Saints. Before we meet the players at this time, do you please rise at your radio, remove your hats as we honor both countries with the playing of their national anthem. the Falcons. The 5'9" senior, number 3, Royce Sargent. The 6'5" sophomore, number 6, Rohan Saul. 6'3" freshman, number 10, Bobby MBB. The 6'4" freshman, number 13, Kate Brown. And the 6'4" sophomore, number 14, Owen Jones. Cassidy Handmeyer, head coach, assisted by Chris Allen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Marcus Pavilion for intercollegiate basketball live from Lacey, Washington. Outside, it's a brisk winter day at this point. We are in the 30s, 39 degrees, but it's nice and warm in Marcus Pavilion. We're ready for action from one of the greatest settings in the GNAC for this Canadian versus American college matchup. There is one version of that, which is a GNAC matchup. That's Simon Fraser versus St. Martin's. This is Langara College, the Falcons taking on St. Martin's University. Kyle Greeley starts us off with a 3 and a miss. Rebound offensive by Jay-Sean Moore, but it hit the out-of-bounds line. It is Langara ball. Missed shot by Kyle Greeley gets us started. Sky Gladstone with you here. To my right is Lauren Morris, a women's basketball player here at St. Martin's. We'll take you through this one as there's a missed shot by the Falcons. St. Martin's, their next two matchups, including this one, are against Canadian schools. Caden Hansen for 3. He hits it home. It's the Saints up after a trace from Caden Hansen. Interception on the press break there. Hansen in the corner. Hansen can't get that one to go. Offensive rebound nearly by Kyle Greeley, but he puts it out the second time the Saints have had positioning for an offensive rebound but haven't been able to get it. Lauren, I'll bring you in here. You guys last year faced off against Capilano, another Canadian school, early in the season. Typically, just because of the way college sports are in each country, it's not quite an even matchup, and the Saints are obviously heavy favorites, as we see a nice reverse layup there by Rohan Saul. But how do you use this game productively? There you go. We had you on mute. My bad.
That's okay. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, whether or not, if it's a good matchup, it's just really a time just to get better, especially, it's not so much of like a dead period, for us right now, but it's just time, just to get better and just to work on the little things, So maybe things that you wouldn't regularly do, in a GNAC conference game, but I mean, just things to work on.
Kyle Greeley to the bucket, puts it up, misses that one. His putback is rejected, but more will get to that. Starters for the Saints. The starting lineups are brought to you by Hansen fires a 3, can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Royce Sargent. He's one of the starters in the Pirelli starting lineups for the Langara Falcons. That's a missed shot. Rebound Stokes. Rohan Saul As also part of the Langara starting lineup, Bobby Mabeni, Caden Brown, and Owen Jones. Skinny lays it in, 5-2 Saints. For the St. Martins, their Ferrari starting lineup is Caden Hansen, Nathaniel Stokes, Kyle Greeley, Jaden Nielsen Skinner, and Jay Sean Moore. That is your St. Martins starting lineup. And there's a layup by Jay Sean Moore after taking it away on the press. The starting lineup is brought to you by Ferrelli's Pizza. There, great people make great pizza. 17:21 to go. 7-2 Saints. They've gotten a couple points off of turnovers during the press. It's a fairly short-handed Langara squad. They have just four spots on their, 4 guys on their bench, so 9 total. They have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scratches tonight. The Saints do have 2 scratches in terms of Tyke Thompson and Diego Trejo Delgado. 7-2 scoreline, 17-18 to go. Starters still out there for both sides. Out to Jay Sean Moore. Moore gets that one taken away from him. Now bringing it up is Sargent. Sargent has it poked away. It'll go out off of the Saints. Skinny got his paw in there. Saints coming off a 20-plus point win over Evergreen State College, an NAIA foe from across town in the South Sound area. Took care of business, but Aaron Landon wasn't psyched about the performance afterwards. Thought it could have been better. Definitely could have been sharper at moments. Rebound to the Saints after a missed shot. Hansen up ahead. Missed the layup. Greeley with the putback. We have seen the Saints miss a couple layups early here. Langard gets through the press. And then attempted to be put up there by Saul. Saul scored the only points for Langara. Stokes with it. He puts it on the ground. Fade away, in and out. He had a shorter Royce Sargent on him, 5'9", guard out of Richmond. This is Saul now down under. Hansen helps. And the 2 guards, Skinny and Hansen, pin the bigger Caden Brown and rip the ball away. 3-pointer by Skinny. Missed it. Rebound Moore. Powerfully inside, is able to get the layup. That's Jay Sean Moore with the putback. He was being guarded there by Bobby Mabeni, who is 6'3", Moore listed at 6'6". You could see the size advantage quite clearly. 3-pointer on the way, and good. That's Owen Jones out of Victoria, British Columbia. If you don't know where Langara is, it's right in Vancouver. Public university. Student body is at about 6,500 compared to the Saints, who are about at 1,500. Well, right now, the Saints up 11-5. Nice dish there to give it to Caden Brown, who puts it off glass and in. 11-7. Most recent contest for Langara, they played 2 straight games against the 6th-rated team, ranked team in the CCAA, which is the Canadian Collegiate Association, Athletic Association. There's a layup. It's 11-9. 5 minutes gone. It's the Mariners of VIC, who they lost to fairly thin margin, 84-76. Kyle Greeley scores that one, 13-9. Saints nearly take it away as they are a little too anxious there, and a foul will be called. 13-9 as we take our first media timeout. We'll take a quick break right here on the Saints Digital Network.
Director of Athletics Steve O'Brien on the court for Michael Snodgrass, Outreach Director for U.S. Senator Maria Campbell's office, Sean DeWitt, Senior Outreach Representative from Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland's office, and Lacey City Manager Rick Wall. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you all for your kind service here this evening in service of the great state of Washington.
Welcome back here. It is about to be Caden Carrion inbound in the ball to Roy Sargent. As the Saints set up in the staple 2-3 with the elevated wing look. Shaquem Alcinder's in, as well as Marcus Lanker, Marcel Evans, Miles Samuels, Caden Hansen, the only starter left out on the floor for St. Martin's. Traveling is going to be called on Sargent. (13-9) scoreline. Saints have the lead. Number one team in CCAA, Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association, men's basketball rankings. Had to look it up because I found that the previous one of Langara was number 6. This is Shaquem. Turns, pops it right in. Splash on the hook shot, 15-9. The number one team is MSVU, which is Mount St. Vincent University, which is in Halifax, Nova Scotia. There's your fun fact for the American listeners who don't watch CCAA basketball unless it's CCAA, the California Collegiate Athletic Association, which the Saints had a few matchups with. There's a nice shot, long 2 from Owen Jones.
How many people do you think on the Langara team know French?
Minimal on Langara. Caden Hansen for 3 there. I'd say minimal because they're British Columbia Canadian. Probably more on the Mount Vincent. I don't know. I've already forget the name of the team that I just said. There's a 3-pointer on the way, and that one's good. 18 to Mount St. Vincent. I think that's what it was.
I was just curious because on Simon Fraser they have a couple of girls that they speak French.
Marcel Evans for 3, missed it. Offensive rebound and putback for Shaquem. It is 20-14. Do they ever speak it on the floor?
Yes. It feels like they're yelling at each other or they're yelling at us, but I'm not really sure.
Long 2 there, missed shot, rebound. Well, a foul will be on it, as Miles Samuels, I think, will get called for fouling Angus Kidd. The great part, I think, about knowing a different language is if you disagree with the ref, you can describe your disagreements in a different language, and the ref,
unless you say
it in a really unfriendly way, then the ref won't know. Another foul on the floor there. That one's called on Shaquem Alcinder. 3-pointer on the way, rattles it home. A 3-pointer, that one's from Caden Carrion. 20-17 right now. This one's worked around. Double immediately comes to Shaquem Alcinder. He goes cross-court to Marcus Lanker. Marcel Evans with it now. Now out to Lanker for 3, and that one goes in and out. Caden Hansen works for the offensive rebound. 3-pointer from Samuels. Missed it. Shaquem. Oh, my goodness. He just tried to put number 12 Angus Kidd on a poster, but the dunk gets rejected at the rim. Oh, my goodness. I was having flashes for how Kidd would react to that one, but instead, Langara gets another bucket. They pull within 1 right now early in this contest, but getting later as we're nearly halfway through the first half.
I think I've said it every time that I've been on here. Whenever Shaquem gets the ball,
3-pointer by
there,
Hansen.
I would be running. And in that instance, I probably would have just been on the other end of the court.
Yeah, the size differentials as Shaquem takes this one away nearly led the fast break. Then it goes back to him after a block. This one up to Shaquem, and Shaquem makes it look so easy under the basket. The size advantage, most notably, is in his favor in this contest. The tallest player listed is Angus Kidd, and he's listed at 6'7". There is William Angar, who is listed at 6'11", but he is inactive. Time for our second media timeout. It's 25-19. The Saints have the lead on the Langara College Falcons. We'll be right back on the Saints Digital Network.
Saints Athletic is proud to partner with our Regional Sports Commission, and we are grateful for your presence here today. Let's give a big Saints round of applause to Jeff Cole, Sarah, Olympia, and beyond.
Welcome back in here. Saints into the offense. Hansen with it. He leads all scorers right now with 9 on 3 3-pointers. Good defense right now. In a zone is Langara. Stokes is short on the free throw line jumper. Hansen gets the steal. 2-on-2 fast break with Stevens as well. Foul will be called. No shot. They're going to call it on the ground. So the Saints will have the ball under the basket. Right now, 3 3-pointers for either side. Jones, Sargent, and Carry-On all have 1 for 1 from three-point land. There was a deep 2 as well. And Jones has 5, but it's a very split scoreline. And there's Hansen's 4th 3 of the day. He's up to 12 points. Saints still pressing. From the elbow, missed it. Samuels rebound. Saints up by 9. Out to the corner. Stevens nearly got that one picked off. Now out to him, and a 3-pointer by Marcel Stevens is his first points of the game. 31-19, we are halfway through this first half. Saints eventually get the turnover once again, force it as Samuels goes to the bucket and lays it in. A late shift from Caden Brown was the last ditch, couldn't stop Samuels' layup. This one goes off the foot of Brown. Saints with it. Another forced turnover. Right now, there are 8 turnovers from Langara, just 1 from the Saints. The rebound battle is 14-10, however. Missed shot, offensive rebound, Marcel Stevens. He puts it up, he misses it. Stokes then rises above to get a rebound. Another 3, and it's in from Caden Hansen, his 5th 3 of the game. He's got 15 with just 11 minutes and change played. 37-19 now. The Saints have gone on a 16-0 run right now. Another turnover. The 16-0 run has only taken 2 minutes and 46 seconds. That's not a lot of time to score a lot of points. Fade away by Marcus Lenker. That one's good. The run is at 18-0 as the Saints had a 20-19 ball game at one point. It is now 38-19. Another turnover, another steal by the Saints. Lenker will get it to Stokes. Stokes to the corner. Oh, that was going to be a heat check for Caden Hansen, but he opts to go and pass it out to his teammate, Marcel Stevens, who makes the run 21-0 SMU.
See, this is the kind of, Saints basketball that I think we're used to seeing. So it's exciting that they're starting to get going right now.
Missed shot, rebound, Stokes. Yeah, scoring a lot of points in not a lot amount of time. Traveling called, and that's the only thing that it feels like they've been stopped on offense. I don't know how many straight possessions they scored on. The Falcons are scoreless in 4 minutes. I'm surprised we didn't see a quicker timeout at some point by head coach Cassidy Kanmeyer, but we have a timeout on the floor now, so we'll take a quick break on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back. It's 41-19. Saints on a 21-0 run right now. And in this time, only 2 field goals have been attempted by Langara. There's the third, and it's a made 2 by number 10, Bobby Mabeni. That breaks up the 21-0 run. Saints are, it's not unheard of for them to do it against a GNAC school, as right now, a pass into Shaquem Alcindor under. They're going to call the travel on him. It's not unheard of for the Saints to do something like a 21-0 run on a GNAC school. I remember the Alaska Anchorage game last year. They went on a run of similar proportions against the Seawolves en route to a blowout victory. That was kind of a funky little shot there. But number 3, Royce Sargent, makes the three-pointer. Samuels inside off glass. Not able to get it to go, but Shaquem, man among boys at times, it seems, able to make the putback look quite easy. Kick out to the corner, Sargent. He'll drive, then try and float it over Shaquem. A tall task, no doubt. And a foul called on the Saints. They're going to call it on Stokes for maybe a push under the basket. I thought they were calling it on Greeley at first on the rebound, which looked completely clean. Didn't see exactly if Stokes had an obvious infraction, but our ref seemed to think so. Marcel Stevens makes do of it anyway as he steals the inbound pass, and then a look under by Shaquem, and then Greeley is rejected. It's out of bounds off of SMU. It's the second time Kyle Greeley's been rejected. Not somebody you see get blocked a lot.
I think Langara, I think they're catching the ball right when it's going up.
Yeah, they have him tracked pretty well. The problem is Caden Hansen and Shaquem Alcindor, the 2 of those guys combining for 23 just between the 2 of them. Saints up by 19. We will take a quick break on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back. 6 minutes and change to go here. 5 on the floor for the Saints is Stevens, Stokes, Samuels, Shaquem, and Greeley. Turnover that ends up between the pom-poms of a cheerleader after a high pass. Now Samuels with it. Looks down low to Shaquem. Out to Stevens. And I think they're going to call a foul on Langara there, which, I mean, that's a tough one to call on Angus Kidd. He's doing everything he can to try and hold back Shaquem there.
Yes.
I
like the hustle, though. I do, because that's something I would do.
Yeah.
Like, find the biggest player, and I would just, you're not getting it.
Anything you can to not let them get the rebound, especially when Shaquem has earned a lot of points off offensive rebounds already. Speaking of, he gets it on the low block. Hook shot, so simple, he's up to 10 points.
He has a very nice touch when he does that hook shot. I will say that. That's really hard to achieve.
That is one of his favorite post moves. Now on the other side, under the basket, rejected by Nathaniel Stokes. Samuels brings it up, out to Greeley. Greeley, that knuckleball three-pointer, that's an air ball from him. He's off tonight. A couple rejections against him, and now the fast break the other way will result in a missed layup. Stokes will play the point, goes behind the back, gives it off to Samuels, says maybe I should let a guard do this. Now Samuels to the bucket. Jump stops, floats it up. Shaquem fighting for the offensive rebound, goes on the floor. Stevens ends up getting it. Then a floater, that one's missed by Greeley. And under the basket, a third chance opportunity has Miles Samuels earning the layup and immediately tapping his chest and saying, "Can I get a sub? That was a lot of work down under." That was a loop-de-loop hook shot, off balance, way up ahead. Marcel Stevens misses the layup. He mistimed his fast break there. Instead, it'll be Kyle Greeley that would get a layup himself. Stevens will get an offensive rebound and a hockey assist. 49-24, Saints up.
I think it's nice. I think it's nice for Kyle Greeley right now just to get one in. Just maybe just having those two shots blocked and just maybe missing a couple of shots that he would usually make. So I think that was a good extra pass right there.
2-on-1 now. Samuels up ahead. He easily finger rolls it in. 51-24. This Langara squad will take on Western Washington tomorrow up in Bellingham. So their December festivities don't get any easier. As nearly, I don't know what that would have been, but nearly probably traveling it. And now Greeley, we'll see if that layup does help him out. He missed it, but Shaquem gets the board, and then a foul called on Nate Stokes for going a little too aggressive on the rebound. Only the fifth foul that we've seen called in this first half, so we can appreciate that. We're cruising by. The Saints right now are up by 27 on the Langara Falcons. We'll take a quick break on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back here. 3:25 to go as Langara will bring it up. This is Caden Carry-On playing in his hometown, Vancouver, British Columbia kid. This one under the basket, a wide open layup there by Caden Brown. Good rotation to beat the zone defense. Skinny back into the contest. Kyle Greeley off the floor. We see Corey Schramm step on for the first time today. Jay Sean Moore has it under. Play drawn up for Corey Schramm, who gets a little contact and puts it off glass. Saints with a nice bucket there. Schramm, who had 1 point on Wednesday, gets his first bucket of the season there. So onto the corner, Stevens. Stevens sets his feet, fires. Lanker, offensive rebound. Loops it around to Schramm. Schramm down under, out to Moore. Moore inside. Maybe some contact there, but it's going to take a little bit more of a threshold usually to get a foul call when you're up by 27. Missed shot, rebound, Jayshawn Moore. He'll play the point, bring it up himself. Going neck and neck all the way down the floor, and then popped up and out of bounds as he ran out of real estate, then had to get rid of it. 2:14 to go. Saints up by 27. They're on a 33-7 run right now in the last 9.5 minutes since that score was at 1 point, 20-19. It has since expanded to a hefty lead for the Saints. Missed shot, rebound, Stevens. Up ahead to Skinny. Skinny stops, pops. That one looked on target. I mean, the distance was right.
Yeah.
It just
It
went
just didn't
to
have
the
enough
right.
umph on it.
Yeah. Didn't have enough oomph on it, and no bucket for Skinny on that one. 1:50 to go here in half number one. Steal by the Saints, 2-on-1 with Stevens and Skinny. Out to Stevens, Skinny wide open under the basket. It'll be a missed three. That's one that I think Aaron Landon would have wanted points from. And then that's going to be called a foul there. Josh Camper will check in for Marcel Stevens. 1.5 to go. The next foul on the Saints will put Langara at the free throw line. Now with Camper in, the top two in the 2-3 zone is Camper and Skinny. Lanker, Schramm, nice find as that one is put in by Owen Jones. Caught the Saints defense napping maybe a little bit there. Now Camper with it. Now Moore. Guarded by Jones. That one poked out, a steal. Fast break now for Saul. Saul missed the layup. Camper rebounds it. He goes behind the back. Double team came to him. He gets it to Lanker. Lanker, ooh, yeah, was wide open for three. Back out to Camper. He fires for three. Off back iron. Rebound Jones. Nice move under the bucket by Royce Sargent. 23-point Saints lead. Skinny for three. Can't get it to go. Camper crashed the boards. He would have just camped out there on three-point line. Ball would have came right to him. 31 seconds to go on the half and 30 on the shot clock. That means separation is 1 second between game and shot. Langara will likely hold for the final shot of the half. They'll take it down. Saints will be comfortable to stay in the 2-3. Royce Sargent with it here. Now with 9 on the shot clock, he'll attack. Saints nearly take it away. Then Schramm does briefly have it. Now out to Sargent, steps back from the corner. Right as the game comes to its halftime whistle, it goes in and out, and that will do it for our first quarter of action. Obviously, the 21-0 run kind of wrote the script in this first half, Lauren. Let's go into both locker rooms at half, starting with the Saints. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect half, but you're still up 23, so how do you kind of think that approach comes in the locker room from head coach Aaron Landon?
I mean, I definitely think, yeah, the half was like, not perfect. But I definitely think Coach Aaron Landon, and his two assistants, I think they're really just going to harp on, the little things. You know what I mean? So even though you're up by 20 plus points, that doesn't mean, that you just don't do the little things, that got you up by 20 or more, So because if this was a conference game, I think you'd be saying the same thing. So whether or not, this is against a conference team or somebody that's in non-conference, the goal at the end of the day is pretty self-explanatory, to win, but to have it be a good solid win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and on the other side, Langara, you go in with the deficit. Good news is everybody on your point has points. Everybody on your team has points except for
Yes.
Abdullahi. So it's spread out really well. Nobody's really taking over. Jones with 7. But kind of how do you approach it and make sure that your team is still getting value out of it, even though it looks like a win might be out of question?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, again, just pushing forward, just doing what is going to work. So just not stepping out and doing things that you don't regularly do. I think it's kind of key for them. So I definitely think that Roy Roy Sargent.
Roy Sargent.
I think he's getting his team going right now for Langara. So I think if the ball's in his hands, and if they keep pushing, I could see them putting more points up on the board. So because they're hitting shots. They love the corner 3. That seems to be their spot right there. So I mean, I would keep trying to hit that for sure.
All right, that'll do it for the first half here. We'll come back. We'll bring you a little bit more stats at the end of this halftime intermission. But for now, take about a 10-plus minute break. We'll come back to you second half of Langara and St. Martin's coming right up on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome to the second half of action from Marcus Pavilion. Scott Gladstone and Lauren Morris with you here. Update on the outside, it is 39 degrees. We are happy to be inside. Woke up, there's frost outside this morning. Ugh. Winter is upon us. It is upon us. Roy Sargent with it. Gets it out to Caden Brown. 53-30 is the scoreline. Three-pointer, nope, two-pointer on the way and good by Bobby Mabeni.
I think that's his that's his second long two, right?
Yeah, I feel like he had one where his foot was on the line before. Floater by Skinny, that one's short. We saw him airball a short shot in the first half. Both Skinny and KG seem a little bit off tonight. The rest of the team is here, and Caden Hansen, of course, leading all scorers right now with 15, thanks to 5 threes. Jones off the side of the backboard, and then a foul is called on the ground. Here is your quirk of the first half, and I noticed it near the end of the first half. I said it off mic to Lauren, but I didn't say it on mic because I didn't want that announcer's jinx. There was 0 free throw attempts in the first half. I cannot remember ever seeing that. I mean, and you and I, you know, you've seen me play a little pickup.
Yeah.
I'm a physical player. I know I've seen you play plenty. You're a physical player. That's the kind of half that we like.
Yes.
Banked
Yeah,
it
no,
into
for
Skinny.
sure. Yeah.
What when you know that they're kind of calling it loose, especially shooting, when the guys are shooting, they haven't called one foul, obviously. How do you change your mindset? Are you aware of morphing yourself to how the refs are calling it?
Yeah, for sure. Just because, you know, like if they're gonna call it like that, then it almost, you know, it makes it almost easier to want to attack the basket, you know, or maybe just be a little bit more aggressive, you know, on defense. You know, because always my biggest fear is, you know, when you're too aggressive, you know, then they start calling those ticky-tack fouls.
Yep.
But you know, if that's how they're gonna referee the game, then that almost makes our job easier.
Yep. Exactly. Jay Moore inside, gets it out to Greeley. Greeley will fire a three, and that one splashes home. So right after I say Skinny and KG are off, it's a bank shot by Skinny, a three-pointer by KG, and they're kind of maybe back on mark. Good fight by Sargent inside and gets the bucket to go. A fifth-year player out of Richmond, British Columbia. I believe you have 5 years of eligibility in CCAA, Canadian basketball, as that one's Hansen, his first two-pointer of the day, put in. Sargent out of Richmond, British Columbia, played his high school ball, his pre-college ball at McNair Secondary. There's a block by Stokes, but maybe a late foul called on him. They are going to call that on him. That one looked clean as a whistle, but gonna give our first free throws here.
So they have 5 years of eligibility?
I believe so.
Is that so? That's just like you know, like not including a red shirt or.
Yeah, and I believe you can have more than that.
Oh,
I'm pretty
wow.
sure. I remember last year when the men's team played Capilano, their communications guy who sent me the roster sent me a really nice, fun fact sheet, and I couldn't find it, but it had a little bit about the Pac West, about the CCAA, about all you would be interested in. I don't believe it had specifics. It just said you have 5 years of eligibility in CCAA play. And as I said on the broadcast on Wednesday, my apologies to Langara fans, but I don't follow the Canadian Athletic Association as much as I could, because when I'm not following St. Martin's athletics, I'm following plenty of NCAA D1 athletics, and my brain will explode if I go any further than that. Reverse layup off target by Mabini. Jay Moore to the bucket, puts it in. And honestly, I went to a D3 school, so I follow D3 school. I worked at a D3 school previously, so I'm following D3s too. It's chaos. It's chaos out there. Your brother plays in NAI, so I'm sure you follow that.
Yes.
Listen, we got our hands full with American sports, so we are not up to date on the
there's
intricacies.
A lot. There's
Canadian
a lot going on.
athletics. Only our friend in the GNAC, Simon Fraser. 62-34 right now. Will say, highlight of my night so far has been Michael Penix winning the Maxwell Award, which I found out at halftime. The man who should be the rightful winner of the Heisman Trophy come tomorrow night. We'll see if the rest of the country agrees and is also correct. They could just be wrong this year, and it happens. Stevens in the corner in front of the student section, like butter. Drano, 31-point lead for the Saints. Saints still in the 2-3. Got a lot of wingspan out on the floor there. That means Stokes is up top. Jones now doubled in the corner, loops it across. Mabini goes long rebound. Kyle Greeley. Jones hits the deck. And Samuels will get the pass from him. Stevens in the corner. Back to Samuels. Then, attacking the basket. Greeley was there. Out to the corner. Stokes. He'll slow it up and get it to KG. Shaquem, who's in the game, is down under. He's doubled. In the corner, Greeley is open. Greeley gets it to go for three. Caden Hansen, the leading point scorer right now with 17. Royce Sargent had 27 in their last game against VIC. And he is the leading point scorer right now for the Falcons with 8. Rotation over. Stevens from deep. Gets it to go right in front of the student section. He shows how dangerous he can be from distance. He's up to 12 now. Stevens is. Free throw line popped out by Naveed Abdullahi. Three-pointer by Sargent off back iron. Rebound Samuels. Abdullahi on him. Samuels gets it to Stevens out in the corner, who stops and gets it to Stokes. Stokes will fire from distance. He rattles it home. St. Martin's up by 40 now. How many players can score in double figures? I think that's the biggest question that we can ask right now, as this game is all but out of reach with 14 to go. 14 to go. However, I will say, in that last game against the Mariners, Langara went on a 30-14 run in the fourth quarter as they play 4 quarters there. Stevens pulls up. It's going to need to be more than that in terms of a run, as another three-pointer goes down the hatch for the Saints. They are on a 19-0 run right now. We saw a 21-0 run in the first half by SMU. Abdullahi, if that one's deflected, and a foul's called down under on Miles Samuels. St. Martin's, the last 4 minutes, have gone on a 19-0 run. They are also on a 24-4 run in the last 7.5 minutes. They are in firm control as we take a break on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back in. 13:23 to go in half number 2. St. Martin's is up by 43 right now as Carry On will inbound under the hoop. Gets it into Abdullahi. Nice post move, but the shot is off target. He is the only SMU player, or only Langara player that has not scored. Thomas Ega into the contest right now. Gets some contact as he goes to the hoop. No foul called. Gets it back. Kyle Greeley out to Samuels. Samuels for 3. Haga working on the glass. This is Haga's first minutes as a St. Martin's basketball player. The Frenchman, as that one is bounced around, gets to Sargent. Sargent then attacking the hoop, loops it up. What a play from Royce Sargent.
I like that. That was a nice hook shot.
Bryson Dilworth, then right back at him, gets a bucket himself. Impressive plays from both sides there. As Dilworth, we saw him explode for 9 as Haga almost takes it away. And a long 2, or a mid-range 2. There is Abdullahi. So now everybody in a Falcons uniform that has played has scored for the Saints. Everybody on the roster has played. It's just Camper and Ega that have not. Dilworth for 3. The heat check there goes as an air ball. Ega, good hustle to get that ball back in, but it was won by the Falcons. A missed shot there. Stevens will bring it up. Gets it out to Greeley. Greeley stops and pops. Misses it. Samuels touched the rebound, but it goes to Carry On. Sargent brings it up. Ega is guarding him out to Jones for 3. Off front iron rebound, Samuels. Samuels lost it out of bounds. They will say it was off of him. And we will take another break, but don't go anywhere. A little bit more probably from some of these St. Martin's bench players that you haven't seen as much this season. We'll be right back on the Saints Digital Network.
This is your open invitation to explore the Olympia region. Come discover local creators taking craftsmanship to a whole new level. Driven to tread along untraveled trails in the pursuit of creating something extraordinary. Delve into the artistry that resides in these corners of the South Puget Sound. Waiting for you to discover it.
Welcome back. 79-38. St. Martin's ahead. Trying to hit triple digits, I'm sure, are the Saints. Right now, defensively, they've been pretty stellar, limiting second chance opportunities. They're going to be in a man-to-man, it looks like, out of the break here. Haga out on the perimeter guarding Caden Brown. Now he's switched and under the basket. Abdullahi, nice play there by Abdullahi to get it to go. We're looking for a first career point on the floor right now, and that is if Thomas Haga can score a bucket. Wearing number 25 out there. Dilworth instead will attack, and a foul will be called. Dilworth will go to the line. 5'10" junior guard. Marcus Slanker out there as well, Samuels and Stevens. So 2 new guys and 3 returners from last year's squad. 3 returners. All were part of the preseason tip-off dinner where their rings were awarded from last year's regular season conference championship. Linker now has 2 in his possession. He was part of both of the conference champion squads from the past 2 years. That one goes in and out. Langara was the first to touch the rebound, but the rebound ends up going to Mabini. Ooh, that would have been tough to put that one over Haga. Nice attempt, but unsuccessful from Carry-On. Then out to the corner, Stevens. Samuels. Dilworth with it now, guarded by Carry-On. Haga will work it to Samuels. Haga's got a little bit of a mismatch inside there, guarded by Abdullahi. Stevens out to Samuels, who has some space. She'll fire the three. Missed shot, rebound, Dilworth. Good speed there as he's then squared up in the corner and foul. That's some of the things, I mean, that we're, you know, we watch warm-ups. Obviously, that you can tell really nothing from warm-ups. But just seeing, I mean, I don't know how fast Bryson Dilworth is, really.
Oh, he's, like, very, very fast, like, extremely fast. Yeah.
You could see him close that gap in a hurry.
Yeah, very quickly.
For sure.
Very quickly. So, I mean, he could be a rebounding threat, I mean, for sure. So, trying to outrun that, you know, and just with the whole, you know, I want the ball, I think could be very, very useful.
That's something that you see a lot, especially when you get a little bit more of the bench there in Schramm and Haga on the floor right now, as is Langara, Dilworth, and Camper. Schramm with a rejection. Out to the corner. Three-pointer missed. Rebound Camper. Haga hits the floor. Looks like he's okay and run it back up. Camper nearly has it taken away. And then Carry-On undercuts him. And Camper will draw the foul. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I love, at the end of this game, it's 80-40, right?
Yeah.
The result is kind of out the window
sure.
right now. But it's got to be fun to have guys that are in there and they care just for the sole purpose of, you know, their maybe injuries or something like that. They could be called upon in games that mean a little bit more, conference games and things like that. But as Camper goes for three and splashes it down,
yeah.
I mean, they're gonna go nuts for every rebound.
Yes,
they're gonna fly around because
you know,
they want points
for sure. Especially because, you know, like with, you know, limited minutes, like honestly, it comes like what comes with that is just like a hunger to play, you know. And so, I mean, these dudes, I know that they want to play just as much as anybody else, and, you know, when it's their time to shine, they're going to give it everything they have, you know. So, and maybe more.
Foul called on Thomas Haga. The late whistle there. Well, and there's something about, I mean, I know it's a thing that's said a lot coming around the first day of, like, football season, the first competitive game. But I think it can be translated into basketball, where a lot of football players, whenever they're interviewed and they say, why are you excited to play this first game? They're saying, I'm just excited to hit somebody that isn't my teammate, right? Or, like, kind of get that out. The guys, the less you play, the less you get to go again. And, you know, it's not as a physical game as football, but still there's something about being able to play with that craziness that, you know, if you're guarding KG in practice and you go crazy and you box them out hard, you know, Aaron Landon might be a little bit more mad at you, as a three-pointer by Bryson Dilworth goes down the hatch. And the Saints get a delay game warning there because Haga touched the ball there after it went down.
I think you're just trying to help the ref out. I mean, I do that sometimes, you know, just kind of tap it towards him. I didn't see what he did. My head was turned, but
I remember, and it was a frustrating. I remember I got yelled at in, like, you know, sophomore high school basketball, as we see a layup there by Rohan Saul. I got yelled at, just, you know, the ball just scored. I'm there for a rebound, and I just grabbed it and then set it. Like, I just kind of set it down on the ground so it didn't go anywhere crazy. And I got yelled at. They said, stop taking it out of the hoop, like, after it was made. You know, some referees will get finicky about that. Thomas Haga with it. Sets a pick. Now he has a mismatch with Sargent guarding him. Camper with the clock running down, and he is rejected right at the buzzer. tough situation for him to be in, needing to put up a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I like the ball movement, though. The ball movement was good. I thought, everybody got a piece of it. It was good. They just have to be aware of the clock.
Yes. That's the other thing. In practice, here's my question. When you're scrimmaging, Saul going to the hoop, I don't know if he was thinking to put somebody on a poster there, but it did not work out that way. Linker with the missed layup. Haga touched out of bounds on the rebound. When you're working in practice, scrimmaging and things like that, how often do you work with the shot clock?
Oh, almost every time.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially just because, usually when we're scrimmaging, like it is meant to be game-like. So, so the clock is on, the shot clock is on. So our players that are not available to play, they're the ones doing that for us. We're so grateful that they do that. So we get that practice with the shot clock and things like that.
So they don't have, I was trying to give them an excuse there for getting the shot clock violation, but they should have experience working with the shot clock.
Yes.
86-44, 7:47 to go. Media timeout on the floor. We'll be right back on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back here, 86-44 St. Martin's, 14 away from triple digits.
That was good. Quick math.
The more you do this, the better you get it.
That was good. I would have been able to do that.
42-point lead as well for the Saints. Nice play there. Shot goes up and missed by Sargent. Rebound Schramm. Camper now kicks it out to Dilworth. Screen by Schramm. Thomas Haga. Thomas Haga still searching for his first points as a Saint. Down to Schramm. Schramm. He's blocked as this ball comes up and over the top, then kicked out to the corner. That is another long two taken by Mabini, and he missed that one, however. When he's watching film, I mean, something to take away from this game. Just go a half step back.
Yes.
And I don't know if the three-point line is different in Canadian basketball. It might be. Three-pointer attempted by Camper. Looked like Langara maybe had the positioning to run out and get that one, but he stopped for some reason. I don't know if it was ankle or if he got hit in the face there or something. But now he's coming down.
Oh, yeah. I think it might be his eye. Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, you got to protect the face. Come on now. Three-pointer on the way. Bang for number 8, Naveed Abdullahi. Within 40 now are the Falcons. Haga with it. Gets it down on the low block. Fade away. Oh, his first points as a Saint just off target. Saints get it back. Dilworth for three. Dilworth in and out. Offensive rebound. Haga, the putback, gets it to go. Thomas Haga scores his first points as a St. Martin Saint.
That was a big rebound, too.
It had to come. It had to come that way, right?
Yes, of course. A nice, strong rebound and a nice, strong putback.
He's somebody that Aaron Lannis, that was a nice move. Missed shot, rebound, goes to the Frenchman, gets it to Camper. When he came in last year as Dilworth goes for three, entire bench standing up behind him, and he got it to go down the hatch. 91-47 Saints. When Thomas Haga came in as a three-pointer, is off-target rebound Dilworth. head coach Aaron Landon used the word to describe him as raw. He has raw talent, raw athleticism. Langara for three. He misses it. I don't know how much you've seen of Thomas Hega. What do you think? What do you think kind of that upside can be for him? Because we just saw a really great putback there, but we haven't seen him play much over the past few years.
Yeah. I've only seen him play a little bit, just in practice, but definitely I think the right word to use would definitely be raw. He has the physical ability and the physical physique to be a very dominant, maybe 5-4 man, for the Saints. So I think just with enough practice and just with enough, to maybe one-on-one time, with his coaches, I really do think he could be a key piece to the Saints. And he's still pretty young. Pretty young. I think there's plenty of time, for him to get better.
Well, and that's a big reason why he was redshirted last year, as he helps out on this three, and they're going to call a foul maybe on Dilworth. They're calling it on Thomas Hega. They're calling it on Hega here. I didn't see what happened in the corner there, but foul on somebody. 3 shots coming for Bobby Mabeni. Well, and I know that Aaron Landon had some success with Veljko Ilic. Who last year was his last year, and he still served as a backup post, performed in limited time, but he said, Aaron Landon said when he was talking about Veljko coming back, he said the amount of that physical presence that he challenged the other posts in practice, that contributed a lot, and guys like Shaquem, guys like Nate who were playing more at the post, just having that big body to push them every day in practice, that was huge. And I'm sure Thomas Hega has been a part of that.
Yes, yeah.
In practice. And, and Veljko's got 2 rings.
Yes.
2 rings to speak for it. And he graduated with a college degree here in America. So, Yeah,
and especially because, Hega, I've noticed he runs the floor very well for a 5. So especially that, in practice, you just being another 5, and you're maybe not used to running the floor as hard as he does, that definitely will challenge you every single day.
Yeah. Nice play there by Josh Camper, who nearly made that shot go off glass and in. 4 minutes to go here, 93-50. Saints chasing triple digits here with a lot of the players we haven't seen as much in. Camper pushes it up to Dilworth. Dilworth, nobody in front of him, goes to the rack. Can't get it to go, but he'll have 2 shots at the free throw line.
If there's one thing I will say, about these 5 that are out here, what you're seeing right now is the endurance. They might not play as much, in games, but they're getting up and down this court just fine.
They have to run.
Yes, they have to run a lot.
Plenty.
Yes, that is. I think it's just a part of the Aaron Landon policy. You know, at St. Martin's here. So, but even if you're not, maybe a starter, or even in the top 7, you are still getting just as much running in as everybody else, So when you're able to come in, like a game like this, it is no problem for you to play, those 8 minutes or however long it will be.
Let's go over some stats while we're taking a break here and catch you up, because we have points from everybody that's played. Period. Both sides has points. On the Langara side, Sargent has 10. Mabini has 9. Abdullahi has 9. He was the last player for Langara to score, and he's up to 9. Jones with 7. Brown with 6. Saul with 4. Carry on with 3. Kidd with 2. On the other side, for the Saints, a bigger roster. Everybody's put in at least a bucket. It's Hansen 17. Stevens 15. Kyle Greeley 12. Dilworth 11. Shaquem Al-Cinder with 10. That's 5 in double figures. And then Jay Shaw Moore and Miles Samuels each with 6. Skinny with 4. And 3 from Stokes and Camper. And 2 from Langara, Hega, and Corey Schramm. We saw first half with 0 free throws. And we see a second half that includes everybody touching the score sheet. Everybody, not just touching the score sheet via a free throw, because sometimes maybe somebody hits a free throw and you say, okay, well, they technically scored. Everybody has scored at least a bucket tonight. As Schramm works for an offensive rebound, nearly walks. Then Camper out for 3, missed it. Dilworth with the putback, he missed it. Schramm over the top of a couple orange jerseys gets it back. Schramm.
Oh.
Lanker makes the 3, but right before it, a whistle happened. And they're going to reset the shot clock.
I will say that play from Bryson Dilworth, I mean, wow. I
Yeah.
mean, I think right now, I think we're really seeing just how athletic he really is. From his speed to his ability to just really get up there.
Well, he had a fast break, and I almost cut you off because it looked like he was going to go up and try and slam it, because he can, even though he's not that big of a guy. Lanker for 3, splashes it home from the outside, 96-50 the scoreline. He was kind of seemed like he was setting himself up, and then he kind of lost his dribble and just laid it in. So it was not worth saying. But I was ready for him to come and take flight, because he is a very good athlete.
Yes,
and we've seen him have some great shots as well over the past 2 games. That one's a missed shot. Ega fighting for the rebound, and it ends up going off of a white toe.
I'm hoping that maybe he gets that chance to do that,
Yeah.
maybe to get a dunk sometime tonight on a fast break.
I think there's a couple guys on the floor that could like Schramm and Hega. I've seen them in warm-ups. They can throw it down. Lanker and Camper, don't know.
Like sneaky. I think it might be a little sneaky, a sneaky bounce, something,
All right.
like that.
Bank shot is off target. Schramm gets it to Camper. Lanker is just going to go from distance, and it goes in and out. Saints are chasing 100 now. That's the real thing that the student section wants. 3-pointer on the way, missed. Ball will go out off of the Saints. (96-50). Saints up by 46 right now. Foul is going to be called on Josh Camper. In terms of the rebound numbers for the Saints, nobody in double figures rebound-wise. Greeley and Samuels with 7, Stokes, Moore, Stevens, Alcindor, and Schramm all with 5. A lot of steals, 16 total steals for the Saints tonight. This one missed. Got his own rebound at number 2, Caden Carrion. Put back makes it 96-52. Carrion goes down, no foul called on either side. Lanker for 3, and he splashes it home. Marcus Lanker, another 3-pointer for him over the past 2 games. He's had a lot of those. He was the leading scorer against Evergreen State on Wednesday with 14. He's up to 8 in this contest. They're going to say on the ground before Royce Sargent can make the bucket there. But I'll tell you what, if there's anybody from Langara listening, especially the Sargent family, you got to give it up for Royce Sargent. He's played a heck of a game. You can tell he is a leading player on this Langara squad. 1-1, first half is made. Again, if they play quarters in Canada, I don't know if they have 1-1 there. Because you guys play quarters.
Yeah.
Women's college, NCAA, plays quarters. They don't have 1-1. They go straight to double bonus of 5.
God.
So right there, number 13, Caden Brown, he started to leave. I don't think if he – or maybe it was a made bucket after the foul was called, and then they said it was on the ground, not an A1. So maybe he just thought it was an A1. Who knows? Listen. Just sometimes when I try and think about Canadian football, it's Corey Schramm there, puts it in. Saints over 100, triple digits, 101-54. I don't know if you've ever seen Canadian football, but the rules
Are different.
they have a lot of weird differences to American football. Foul will be called. We'll shoot some more free throws here in the late going. I love no free throws in the first half, and here we are. Second half. We've shot 13. We'll go up 14 and 15 here. And it's like, come on.
Well, I think Roy. I think Roy Sargent. I think he's really just trying to maybe get his team more points. just trying to get to the basket. He's very, very quick, very quick. Just a little, what is the word? You're not really sure what he's going to do with it.
Okay. A little bit of wild card.
Yes.
A mystery box. Royce Sargent there.
Sure.
The Canadian mystery box. That's a nickname. Maybe somebody at Langara can work on that. Missed shot, and it will go out of bounds off of the Saints. Saints tonight, they started off, they really haven't shot the ball well, but they've only had 10 turnovers compared to 21 by the Falcons. As right there, Royce Sargent takes it to the bucket, lays it in. 40 seconds to go. The Saints will probably only have one more shot, and if they get the ball again, they will run out the clock, you would think. Out to Dilworth in the corner for three. Missed it. Schramm pokes the rebound to Lenker. Lenker under, gets it out to Camper. As we're going to have another question. No. This is an injury timeout on the floor. That's, I think, number 13, Caden Brown. And in a 43-point ball game, with 27 seconds to go, especially when your team down by 43. I don't know, if you're up, if you're down, whatever. The last thing you want to see is an injury. So it looks like they're just stretching him out, and hopefully just a cramp there.
Yeah.
He's going to get up here. And
I've only cramped very few times in my entire basketball career, and terrible.
Terrible.
It's absolutely terrible. It's really bad.
Looks like Caden Brown's okay, getting off under his own power, just a little hop, skip, and a jump kind of walk there. We'll see if he is in action tomorrow against Western Washington. They'll play up in the Carver Gymnasium there in Bellingham. 27.1 to go. Saints will inbound the ball to Bryson Dilworth. They will take one more shot, likely, as Schramm gets it under to Hega. Out to Dilworth. He'll try another three and get it to go. Bryson Dilworth, he's in double figures now with 14 after that three-pointer. He is third on the team in scoring. Last offensive possession likely from Langara here. Sargent with some contact. Misses the shot. Rebound goes to Dilworth. Saints win by 46. Just under the 50-point margin, but a 100-plus point game and a convincing SMU victory over the Langara Falcons. 1 week from tonight, they will take on Douglas College, another Canadian CCAA school. When you think of kind of the next week of practice, I know you talked a little bit with me about your guys' practice. I think it was more off-air, though, but it's a lot of kind of conditioning. It's the games. These games are important, and you want to get something out of it, but just in general, kind of by talking about your guys' own practice that you're doing on the women's side, what are you seeing a lot of practice-wise in terms of the game plan for the coaches? What is the next week kind of going to be like for the Saints in practice?
Again, I think it's just really just working on the little things, like maybe the things that, like in film or just maybe like statting wise that, like you would expect, maybe your team to be better at, but just right now, they're maybe not the best, and would that be, rebounding, more assists, steals, whatever, like things like that. I think that's when, that next week you really just hone in on those few things and you try to just work out the kinks, So then going into the next game, your team just has the most confidence.
Perfect. Well, I'll talk to Aaron Landon and a player in just a moment on the Saints post-game report presented by Blarney's. I don't know who he's going to bring up. I know he wants to take advantage of these games and maybe find somebody that doesn't get interviewed a lot. It might be a Dilworth interview, which would be
I'm hoping that it is
something to behold.
Something
to behold. Hansen, also a worthy recipient. I'm sure Caden Hansen over the next few years is saying he's going to have plenty of chances to talk. We'll see who is our mystery player in just a few moments. When we come back, the Saints post-game report presented by Blarney's coming right up. We'll be right back on the Saints Digital Network. Scott Gladstone here with head coach Aaron Landon and power forward center Corey Schramm on the Saints postgame report presented by O'Blarney's. Coach, we're starting with you here. When you look at a game like tonight, first of all, there's a couple weird quirks. I don't think I've ever seen a half without a free throw taken, and in the first half there was 0 free throws. But second, everybody, both for Langara and for you, was able to score tonight. When you're able to get everybody on the score sheet, including a first career points by a guy like Thomas Haga, what does that mean in terms of just making sure these guys have some meaningful minutes and get to show off what they can do for the Saints faithful?
Yeah, it's awesome for them because they work so hard every single day. So, sorry, I was looking. If it was no free throws in the first half, that's a first for me.
Yeah,
never seen that either.
Yeah.
I've also 48 threes attempted. That's another pretty crazy number. So, yeah, no, it's awesome for those guys. They work really hard in practice, and so to get them minutes, and actually this was pretty awesome. We had a good little chunk of students coming out. I don't think this isn't very well attended, understandably. I don't know if Sydney's got a look at how many people are watching, but if you're watching this, you must really love the Saints. And so, and that means a lot. Like, these guys had a little crowd to play in front of Friday night. It's awesome. So good for them to get some game reps and, play with the whistle, and it's awesome.
When you take a look at kind of this next week of practice, take me through kind of what's the game plan, what's the makeup of it, and how do you approach this next week?
You're just trying to keep your guys locked in. It's finals week. I think Langara, I could be off. I want to say they beat Douglas. I was watching a little bit of that game. I
mean, I know they Victoria, who's the number 6 team in the CCA rankings, they lost them by 8, so they gave them a good run.
Maybe this is just there's not a ton to talk about. I want to let Corey talk more. Maybe I should just give you my pitch, because this is we play a few games like this in a row, and it's tough. Like, everybody in the conference, like we talked about last time, they have to play these non-Division II schools. Unless you have deep pockets where you can buy games and fly teams up, which is really hard with a single opponent, you got to play these games. And our fans always give me a hard time about scheduling them, but these guys are playing Western Washington tomorrow. Seattle Pacific, I think, played Douglas tonight. Evergreen State plays a bunch of Division I teams, like everybody does it. So here's the idea. We go into December and we get a classic that last weekend right after finals, and we bring it here. Here's the cost. It's $10,000. I think that's what you take on. $3,000 in guarantee covers 2 nights of hotel, and then there's like $1,500 that you can throw to a team in a check that lets them feel less bad about buying plane flights to come up. The 4th team will come from the GNAC. I think it should be Western Washington, because I would love to bring it here right before the holidays and call it the Bob Grisham Holiday Invitational. Bob was a GA at Western. I think that would bring people back from generations and generations. Bob's former players right before the holidays, I think those guys would make a trip out of it. And then we could afford to bring in 2 really good teams, whether it's 2 CCAA teams or team from the Pac-West, team from the CCAA. And make it a really, really special event. And so $3,000 for each of those teams from California. And then that last $4,000 covers the overhead for staffing and then officiating. And you would have this awesome, awesome classic right before Christmas, and that would pack this place out for sure. And you'd get a pretty good gate. I think you bring in a GNAC team. You get some people traveling up because it's near the holidays. That's my dream, is get something like that going here. So if there's anybody listening with $10,000 that wants to get some high-level D2 basketball going, and you happen to be watching the Langara post game, that's the best idea I can come up with. But until then, we got to play these games. We got to stay locked in and get these guys through finals week. We scheduled it early at least, so we can all get to bed at a reasonable hour. It's the best idea I got. He's way smarter than me. I got nothing left to say. So talk to a much more interesting and smart guy, and I'll see you next
All
week.
right. Sounds good. We'll see you then, Coach. Thanks.
Well, it's my first time doing one of these, so
Okay.
sorry if I voice crack a lot.
No. You're all good, Corey. Well, first of all, just in general, playing these games and getting a chance, you redshirted last year, so not being able to play against anybody that wasn't a fellow teammate. What's it like to just go out there and say, all right, let's kind of, get the handcuffs off and let's get going again?
Well, it feels great. You're waiting all last year, all summer. You just want to play. It's all you want to do. So you finally get in there. It's one of the greatest feelings.
We had first career points from Thomas Haga, another big tonight. Just when you guys were out there and kind of, it's hard to see it because we see the bigs like Shaquem and Nate that play a lot, and because we just don't see you guys, we don't get to know how you play a lot, and then we see you just out there dominating. And what's it like for you two, especially your other big Thomas that gets to work and seeing him be able to play his first minutes as a Saint? How does that feel?
Well, I remember when I was just there a few years ago, and I remember that first basket went in, and the crowd went pretty crazy, and you're just like, whoa, this is the coolest feeling ever. It's like way different in high school when that first bucket went in, but it's the coolest feeling.
For you personally and for this team, kind of, how do you guys approach this finals week where you do have games, some non-conference games? How do you approach it while taking things seriously and knowing that you got GNAC play coming up, but at the same time realizing, you got to take care of schoolwork, you got to take care of all the other business that you got going on around the holidays?
Well, actually, practices are pretty nice for that because you're kind of grinding on your homework and everything, and then you get into practice and you kind of can turn that side of your mind off and you can really focus on something else. It's rejuvenating that way.
And finally, if you had a choice, because I notice out here you get a lot of blocks when you're in this game. If you had a choice, would you rather have more blocks or more points? What's your choice there?
Well, more blocks would be pretty cool.
Okay.
But if it's a bunch of dunks, I'd take the dunks.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully next Friday we get a dunk from you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Corey.
Thank you.
Thanks. Final score of this one, 104-58. The St. Martin Saints get a big victory over Langara College. For all of us that make this broadcast possible here at St. Martin's University, including our statisticians David Cano and Ibrahim Mustafa, our cameraman Zane Leposki, our stream producers Sydney Henderson and Ali Campagato. My name is Scott Gladstone. For my color commentator Lauren Morris, we hope you have a great rest of your Friday night and stay safe out there. Saints win.